Some might say, in the beginning, there was light. Some might say, in the beginning, there was love. So in the beginning, there's light. And I don't know, have you guys ever seen those torches? But like, have you seen the torches that shine darkness?
That shine what? I'm sorry.
Well, you know what a torch is, and you know you can have a lamp, but have you ever seen a torch that shines darkness?
No.
Have you ever seen a lamp that shines darkness? Or a lamp that sucks up all the light?
No.
No, it doesn't exist. I don't believe it exists, right? So you don't have light and darkness. Darkness is not the opposite of light, it's the absence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is only light and the absence of it. Hi there, Adrian here, and this is a video from a Zoom session that we do. We do these Zoom sessions every Sunday, and we take questions and answers from the audience, some of our students, some of our members. We never know what questions are coming up, so I'm always excited to do these sessions, and I hope to see you at one of them. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and check out the other playlists that we have. Thank you. Enjoy. Some say this is good, some say that's bad, and most of you know if we're saying good, bad, what are we doing? That's good. We're tearing it apart and we're judging. And if we're judging, well, we have to be attached to points of view. So some say things are good and bad, but they're essentially judgments, you know. Another way of saying it is one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, you know. Or sweat now, and have the glory later. Yeah. So judging good, judging bad, judging good or being an optimistic person, it's kind of isn't that much better than being a pessimistic person. They're both far away from truth. Yeah. Nice one, Gilligan. See, fear is the absence of love. Well, I think the absence of love can cause a whole pile of things. But we're going to get more into different types of love and more about love. Now, just for a moment, I want you to consider if something is considered good, and no, for you it's not good, it's bad. If you judge something as good, what happens when you consider the bad side? And if something's really good, like having lots of love is really, really good. If you get so much of it, then you might start to suffocate. Yeah, or have the absence. So once you start to take in the other side of the coin, it starts to balance out. Some people you'll say all this positive stuff, and they'll say, but look on the other side. Yeah. So once you take good and bad into consideration, or multiple perspectives getting closer and closer to truth. Yeah. Or if we want to hold on to our side, whether it be optimistic or pessimistic, one thing that kind of bugs me is when people say, I'm right, everyone else is wrong. Yeah. And this is nothing to do, this session today is nothing to do with religion. Yet you'll see this through religions as well. Some religions will be, our religion's right, every other religion's wrong. And that's just crazy, isn't it? So you want to be able to take in multiple perspectives and see that there are multiple perspectives. And when we get multiple perspectives, what do we actually get? We get closer to the truth. How many times in relationships do you see this? Yeah? People stuck on one side of the coin. My side is better than your side. I'm right and you are wrong. It's funny, you hear someone who's saying, I'm right, everyone else is wrong, and it's so clear. And there's some wonderful sayings as well. Bernadette just wrote it. As soon as you're pointing one finger, and God, get this deep into your brain. Get this really deep into your brain. Do a submodality swish, whatever you have to. Every time you're pointing your finger, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. This needs to be like an automatic thing. Yeah. Now, I still blame people. The funny thing is when I blame people, what's really funny is I remember washing the dishes and I started to blame someone. I started to laugh. Because I'm washing the dishes and I got like 4 hands and maybe 4 hands. 4 fingers and 4 fingers, and I got 8 fingers pointing back at me while I was washing the dishes. So look, in the beginning there was light. There is no darkness, just the absence of life. Multiple perspectives bring us closer to truth. Now, if you watch a baby or a toddler, we often watch the baby and toddler when they cry, don't we? What's wrong with the baby? It's crying. Yeah. So that, we assess the baby, nappy, food, whatever it takes. And then what happens after you feed the baby or you take care of the baby? Someone answers, please. What happens after you take care of the baby? What's next for the baby?
They usually stop crying or they burp all over you.
Perfect. And then what?
They sleep.
They sleep, maybe?
They can do it again because you've given them the attention.
They might do it again. Because you're giving them attention. But now, what's the natural state? What do you think is a natural state for a baby or a toddler? Happiness? I think healthy babies are generally pretty happy. They have their fart, their gas, their burp, and then they're like looking around again. Keynote, what's a baby paying attention to? Things that are the same or things that are different?
Differences, light, dark, and then greater detail as they learn more.
Side note there, paying attention to differences.
And very
so that's a side subject, but we want to also train ourselves to pay more attention to differences. And this has been covered in studies as well. So you get a bunch of people, get them all together, have them focused on the same stuff, get them into a brand new environment and have them figured out what's the same. And they'll figure out what's the same. So get a big bunch of people, take them to a foreign country and say, find things that are the same. They will find them. And then what will happen? They will act the way they normally act. Same bunch of people, take them to another foreign country. This time tell them, only focus on things that are different. Find things that are different. What happens? They find things that are different. And then what happens? How do they act?
Amazed, surprised.
Well, I've got to find a new way to act. I've got to find a new way of being. Now, in the first place, I've found all these things that are similar, so I can just act out the way I normally act in old patterns. But if I go into a new environment and I focus on all the things new and different, I'm going to act different as well. Yeah. So if we are going into a brand new environment and we are focused on the new and different, we will find new and different and we will be more different. Yeah. But if we look for the old or the common things, we will start to repeat common patterns. This actually came from a study. I was reading about this study, and it's really cool. I'm not going to get it really right. I didn't read this study in the last week. I was like, months ago. The study was beautiful. This lady grabbed a whole pile of like pensioners, people who had carers, not your average pensioners. These were like high maintenance carers. Every single person had a carer. She went and got these people and she took them out to a village she made. They made this whole village like the 1950s. Everything was 1950s. 1950s food, music, scenes, service, everything just like 1950s. And it was so funny, she said, because when she pulled up, you know, the people didn't have their carers, you know, and she's like watching them get out, and these old people were like with their bags, and they couldn't carry their bags. Some of them started opening up their bags, and they slowly carried their clothes, you know, and some of them pushed the bags slowly, getting their breath back slowly, getting their breath back. And they slowly moved all the bags towards their accommodation. Lived in this 1950s village for a week. Now, did this with 2 groups. Both groups came back a week later feeling better. Now, in the village, one group had to enjoy themselves in their 50s. That was it. The other group, the second group, had to talk in present tense. That's it. They just had to talk in present tense. Talk about now, how things are now. They weren't talking about the good old days. As soon as you're talking about the good old days, that's in the past. Yeah. So the second group was just talking in present tense. Yep. At the end of 7 days, that group that was in present tense were playing frisbee and kicking balls around. The difference it made to speak in present tense and sought for differences. Children all the time searching for differences. I remember taking my kids to school, you know, taking my kids to school. I don't walk my kids to school. It takes too long because, oh, there's a butterfly. Oh, there's a flower. You know, but the thing is the kids keep noticing all these flowers, and there's a little crack in the concrete, and they're like, what's that? What's that? The kids keep searching for differences. And what am I saying? Hurry up. It's time to get to school.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter says, why do we go to school? So you can learn. All right. So the kids are pretty good learners. And how do they learn? So what do we want to do? We want to keep searching for differences, not similarities. And for the NLP Master Prac, and for people that are well experienced, you could see that as a meta program. So switch the meta program across and you might get another 10, 20 years happy life. If so, can I have a silver coin or a gold coin? Okay, someone has dropped these beautiful, cool silver coins off to me earlier on. Okay, so now when it comes to love, the child's natural state seems to be happy and searching for differences. So what do you think our natural state is?
Should be the same.
I think it should be the same.
What about opposites attract? So we look for something which is different to us.
Oh, maybe. We're gonna talk about that in a few bits as well. So the natural state is happy. The only thing is that things get in the way. Nappies, food. Our natural state is happiness, but things get in the way. Therefore, when it comes to love, is it really a matter of finding love or removing the obstacles in the way? Something to ponder. And for those that want more love in your life, consider. Okay, let's say I want more love in my life. Okay, I want more love in my life. And, you know, I'm out there meeting new people, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. How much, for those that want more love, how much of our time are we looking for more love versus how much time are we spending removing the obstacles? And the great thing is, because removing the obstacles could be as easy as yeah. Could be a lot easier. Actually, I don't know if easy is a way to put it. But how much of our time do we put in going out for love versus how much do we go in for love and removing the obstacles?
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.